I put my trust in you, and I trust in love. I put my trust in you, I put my trust in love. I put my trust in you, and I trust in love. I put my trust in you, I put my trust in love.
Hello, friends. My name is Dane Miller.
And I'm Niall Spain. And guess what? We're your fuck buddies.
Damn.
Yeah.
We are a dating and sex advice podcast where we take your sticky, sexy situations and turn them into sexy, sticky situations.
We find questions from our wonderful listener. That's you. Send them in. We also find them online. That's maybe you also by a secret name. But we don't know. But it's fine because we do it anonymously anyway. And guess what? We answer them right here, right now, in your ears, collaboratively, positively, excitedly, inflammatorily, apparently,
Yes,
if you're
yeah,
any
I was
person
gonna
on
say
the internet ever.
We're ruffling some feathers. And I think maybe that's... I don't think we should be. I don't think anything we're saying should be ruffling any feathers, but there are particular feathers that are being ruffled.
Yeah, I think it's just like, for some reason, the algorithm is like, yes, you guys. And we're just being put out to people. And people are wild and just wild. Like, we released a clip from last week where we talked about you should know where the clit is. And someone commented, oh, so gay guys should never have sex? I'm like, sure. Yeah, that's what we were saying. We were being super homophobic. You're right. And I'm sorry, guys. Look, to all the gay people listening, you got to stop.
To be fair, we didn't say you shouldn't have sex. We said if you're not willing to learn where the clitoris is, you shouldn't be having sex. So gay men, we're not saying gay men shouldn't be having sex. We're saying that you still need to know where the clitoris is.
And what is the prostate but the clit of the ass? So...
That's what I'm saying. Everyone's got a clit. It's just a different thing.
Yeah, it's just wild. But you know what? That's fine. Give me that engagement. I'll take it. So This episode, we're only going to say out-of-pocket things to rage bait people. Just a heads up.
It's not just, we just need to say definitive things. We just need to say things with no nuance. And say things like, if you're walking down the street, you should stay on the sidewalk. And then someone would be like,
okay, so fuck cars, fuck people in third world countries where maybe there aren't sidewalks, Dane.
Exactly.
Fuck the countryside.
We don't have sidewalks in my town. I guess I shouldn't walk anywhere.
Yeah. Farmers can't fucking harvest their crops now. Or just build fucking pavements in the fields, Dane. Jesus Christ. I'm done. I'm out.
Is that not how farms work? Are there not sidewalks everywhere in farms? I don't know how farms work.
Yeah. Well, you should, because we played a lot of Farm Simulator. But you know what? This week we're going to talk about, is there a logical reason for my girlfriend to say stuff like this?
My girlfriend flinched really hard. What do I do?
Girl wanted me to use open condoms that she brought from home and got mad when I didn't want to.
Why does she ask if I'm all right?
If you're all right?
I don't know. I think I got summoned to the farm there and got a little bit of a drawl. At the end of that. All right.
Maybe you became part animal. Ready?
Yeah.
Am I overreacting? Is there a logical reason for my girlfriend to say stuff like this? This is by No Thoughts 6169. I, 24-year-old, and my girlfriend, 23-year-old female, will go from some of the sweetest combos to her saying stuff like this out of the blue. I will hit you up with what she said at the end.
Please.
I'm sure I'm not the only person who's dealt with something like this, but honestly, just trying to get an answer from both sides. Have you done this before, and why? And if it's happened to you, how'd you go about the issue? It feels disrespectful to hear from someone that states they may want to marry me, that they want to be married to me one day. Her reasoning is it's someone famous, there's nothing to worry about, but I don't see it as a reason to be able to tell my partner I wished I could be with somebody else. Am I overreacting? Which celebrity? 3 guesses. Quick, hit me.
Timothy Chalamet.
No.
Chris Pratt.
No. Wait. Before you do the third one, let's say it's unconventional.
Not Oscar Isaac.
That's pretty conventional.
Yeah. The guy who plays Sheldon from Big Bang Theory.
I would say even weirdly, I would say less conventional than that, but you can tell me whether you agree or not. So she texted him saying, I'm so mad Mr. Beast is engaged. How the fuck did he have no girlfriend when I first watched him? Got one. I got lucky enough they broke up. He shortly got another one later and then quickly proposed, crying face.
Yeah, I feel like you have to be, like, regardless of sort of relationship status, I think you have to be an absolute either robot or psychopath robot to find anything that Mr. Beast does attractive.
Maybe it's his dead eyes, like the eyes that maybe remind you of a psychopath robot. Maybe it's his pitting poor people against each other so they could survive. Maybe she's really into the Hunger Games.
A theme park with slave labor in the Middle East.
Perfect, yeah. But don't worry, that's after he gave like a bunch of people hypothermia in Canada.
Yeah. And also, like, I'm pretty sure someone really hurt themselves during like one of his like don't pee challenges as well. Not the woman who died for the Wii, but like, yeah.
I'm sorry. Well, did you hear he came out against Mamdani and was like, no, things shouldn't be more affordable. It's like, yeah, because you need poverty to fuel your kindness.
Yes, people can afford basic necessities. They no longer need to run in your mad scientist lab rat machines.
Yeah.
He is like one Netflix deal away from making a human-sized mousetrap game in which he
literally
launches them like into tubs of water and stuff. Have you seen the interview he did? I can't remember who the third person is, but it's him, Logan Paul, and someone else. And there's charisma and stage presence and sort of like,
Riz.
And banter and being able to sort of like chemistry
when you're a podcaster.
Yeah. The three of these people are the opposite of that. It is like someone figured out how to suck engagement out of a room. And
They're the anti-crack.
It is just like it is just sort of like dead horse eyes across the board of just these like three people who grew up in social media, churning out content for numbers, not knowing how to act like a human being around other human beings, human beings.
Yeah, of course.
I don't believe Mr. Beast is a real person.
True. And they also don't consider us human beings. So
he calls himself Mr. Beast. How much more on the nose? The greatest trick the devil ever pulled.
I have never seen anything to do with Mr. Beast, to be fair. I don't think I've ever seen a video they've done. I don't think I've ever seen an interview with them. I've never watched his Nightmare game show. I've never ever consumed any. And maybe that's it. Maybe I'll look one day. I'll be like, wow, this guy's real compelling. Or maybe one day we'll look back on this clip when we've become soulless podcasters who just we're Joe Roganing it up. We're saying, hey, that's kill everybody. That's a fair point. Yeah.
I hope that if we ever do get to that point, that this is in fact the clip in which our like Ghost of Christmas Past brings us to sort our asses out.
I hope past me kicks the shit out of future shitty me.
You know what? If I ever get to that point, I hope someone guillotines me in the street.
Yeah. Hopefully my death can further the cause.
That is my statement to you guys as
some crazy person's going to be like, we'll finally make like a decent amount of money one day. Like we'll be like, oh, we got like a cool like Netflix show or something. And so we're like, well, time to kill them.
Time to drag Dane out and guillotine him in the street.
Yeah. Wait, they made more than $50 on Patreon? Dead. Back to the original question.
Again, I don't even want I think if this was other people, if this was anyone else, if this was the guy who played Sheldon on Big Bang Theory.
Or let's say Oscar Isaac.
Then I think we'd have a conversation. I think the fact that it is Mr. Beast, I think is like, there's nothing about that man that should warrant this response.
I'm assuming it's someone who grew up with him. Like,
sure.
And I guess maybe I can understand if you had like, you watched him in your formative years. Maybe it was your show or whatever. I don't fucking know. Maybe you might have a crush on him. I think it's so fucking weird. Like if I had a crush on a celebrity any further than being like, they're hot, I think that's strange. So to be upset that they're engaged or to be like, oh, thank God they broke up like with their partner. Now I have a chance. If I was like that, even with a person I know, that's pretty weird. But like a celebrity to be like, yes, they're single. Now's my time. Fuck, they got another girlfriend. Damn it. Like, what?
Yeah, unless you worked in that sphere, like unless you were like a head, like a top executive at YouTube.
If you were the guy,
Netflix or whatever.
If you're the person that delivers the hypothermia to his show, like,
Sure, maybe like if you interacted with Mr. Beast, then like maybe you do have a shot of like, but yes, I agree. This was something that I never understood, especially in high school. High school was, and it's like, I understand that like this is a high school thing.
Can I say especially in high school? I think it's far worse if you're like 24.
No, I mean like I noticed it especially in high school, right? Like where I've mentioned before, like predominantly lady friends. Like I pretty much only had women friends in high school outside of a select few. And so like I was privy to a lot of the girl talk. And it was like girls who thought that they like could marry Johnny Depp or they could date, Gerard Way or, whoever the fuck it was that they were obsessed with. And it like literal serious conversations. And I don't know if that but yes. And then for whatever reason, some people just don't grow out of it and still become like parasocially attached to these celebrities. And like, you see it a lot with like Taylor Swift, right? Like people crying when she got engaged.
Hey, Dane.
Hey, TikTok. Hey, TikTok.
Oh, no.
What up? What up?
I'm going to say, hey, I have a very interesting bad sex writing about Taylor Swift later. It's not really sex writing, but it's just funny that you mentioned this. So continue.
I'm already nervous. But yeah, it's like I think that like if you can get that emotionally engaged with someone who doesn't know you exist and you will never probably ever meet, regardless of how important like their art or whatever is. Yeah, it's like it's weird to me. It would be the same thing as like if I broke down in tears when I walked past someone getting like if I saw a wedding at a church across the street and I got so overwhelmed. That's not a normal response. And I think it's even less normal when it's being packaged and delivered to you via the media machine to be like, look how fairy tale-esque this wedding is. Look how romantic this like newborn baby birth is. It's like,
it's not even that. Like, they're not like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. They're like, fuck, there goes my chance. And I think like, even if you, like, let's say you have a friend or someone you hooked up with or someone you went to school with or someone you worked with, someone you like kind of know, and you're upset, like you're in tears that they're getting married. There's something wrong with you. You're doing it wrong, right? That just goes so much more so for a celebrity because, again, you have no idea who they are. They have no idea who you are. It's probably never going to happen. Also probably shouldn't happen because all the things you know about them are like false.
Yeah, this is the weird thing. Like I try to keep a very level head. There are some people who like I really hope are cool.
Yeah.
And I try not to put expectations on people because I understand that, and maybe this is just because I've worked in media almost my entire like adult life of being like, everything you see is fake. And I just don't understand why people don't still, even now when we have access to social media and it's like, you know what you're posting on your social media and it's probably very curated. Do you not think that the person who makes millions of dollars has a person curating their image on social media? And the same way that like everybody does this to one extent or the other?
That's the thing. It's like the average person is going to do it a little bit. And even that little bit portrays their life wholly differently. Then there's people way above that, people who like are obsessively doing this. And then there's people that do it, again, for a living professionally, and they can change anything. They can give you whatever perception they want. So it's just, I think it's a red flag. I think it's a huge red flag. I think it is, if someone pulled that out to me, I would be like, okay, I don't know if I would dump them, but I'd be like, what's going on here? This is a strange behavior to have.
And triply so if it was Mr. Beast. If
so much more so when it's Mr. Beast.
If someone hit me with I'm so upset that I don't have the opportunity to marry Mr. Beast and that Mr. Beast's marital status is causing me emotional distress is upsetting. Other than like the fact that someone has decided to marry Mr. Beast, which is
its own level of upset. Yeah, who is it? Do we know who this is?
Who's marrying Mr. Beast? No. My guess would be probably some influencer. Some Instagram influencer would be my guess. You know, it'd be funny if it's just some random fucking like 52-year-old school teacher from Idaho.
That'd be incredible. Maybe I would respect. Oh, he you know what's funny? He proposed on Christmas Day apparently, and we have a whole thing about why you shouldn't do that.
Yeah,
and she's listed as a internet celebrity.
Yeah, shocking.
Yeah. Oh, weird. Okay. Her name is Thea Beastie on like social medias, and I'm like, was she inspired by Mr. Beast?
Or did she change that after the fact?
Maybe. I don't know.
She changed it now that she's engaged. Now that
I refuse.
Because like Mr. Beast obviously has to be Mrs. Beast.
Yes, of course.
Right? Anyway, I don't want to talk about Mr. Beast anymore. This is from I Would Like Some Help. Girlfriend flinched really hard. How do I approach this situation? I, a 21-year-old male, have been with quite a few girls. None I have loved apart from my girlfriend, Leela, fake name, 19 female. I've known Leela for quite a while. We've been together for 6 months. Yesterday night, me and Leela got intimate for the first time. Well, we were about to. She hasn't been intimate with anyone before, and I was guiding her through it. She wanted to give me a blowjob to start. Everything was going smoothly, but when I used my hand to move hair out of her face, Leela flinched extremely hard. I've never seen anyone flinch that hard. I was immediately worried and confused. She was apologizing profusely, saying that she thought my hand was a bug, but I wasn't buying it, obviously. The night ended a bit awkwardly because she wouldn't stop apologizing and wanting to continue, but she was literally shaking. I just could not continue after that. She hasn't even ever spoken too deeply about her past and anything and doesn't want to, which I don't mind, but of course I would like to know, especially after what happened. Does anyone know how I can approach this whole situation without upsetting her?
Man, what if she did think it was a bug?
Yeah, right?
That sucks. It sucks because then you're like, oh shit, a bug. I'm feeling vulnerable. That's a bad time for a bug to be around, right? Like I was once getting changed, and the biggest spider I've ever seen walked across the road the room.
That's a huge spider, dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And like I had my dick out, and I was like, not now. Of all times, let me at least get that tucked away. Let me get some boxers on minimum, and I feel a lot more safe. I felt very vulnerable. I don't even mind spiders, but not when I got my dick out.
Yeah, there was a real big point of time in which I was really scared. And look, don't get me wrong, I'm still quite scared of this. But of bugs climbing into my urethra.
Yeah.
Right? Like obviously still not okay with it. But for whatever reason, there was a period of time where I was like really scared it was going to happen.
Yeah, this was, you talked about this before. I think it was used to like sellotape, used to use mouth tape, but on the head of your dick every night.
It was just a Ziploc bag and a lot of tape. Nothing was getting in there.
Apart from the one time you used your wrong Ziploc bag, the one full of ants. And yeah.
My bug bag, yeah.
Yeah. I hate when you mix those up. Okay. This is time for a follow-up conversation because sometimes in the moment, emotions are high. People are upset. People are scared. People are nervous. People blah, 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 blah. You didn't get anywhere in the moment. That's okay. It seems like you did the right thing. You stopped, you asked questions, you were concerned, you were a good person. And understandably, you looked a little deeper into what was happening. And I think that's a reasonable thing in a situation like this. I think what you need to do now that the, heat has died down is just reach out and be like, hey, so the other night, I really just want to check in with you. I want to make sure everything's okay. Obviously I didn't mean to cause you any alarm, but if there is something you want to talk about, you can definitely bring it up and just open that door. And then if she's like, no, honestly, it was a bug, like, don't worry about it. I think you just have to like take that. Because again, one, maybe it is, right? Emotions are high and like nerves. If she's giving a blowjob for the first time, she thinks she's about to have sex for the first time. That can be a really scary moment. So it could be that like for whatever reason, like again, maybe she did think it was a bug. Maybe she flinched and then got so embarrassed and then thought you were upset and then was like, oh fuck, this is meant to be the moment. I'm ruining it. It's embarrassing. Like, oh my God, he's still asking me. I've ruined the whole thing. Like, because this could be one of those things that people really like. People put a lot of like importance on virginity and shit. So she could be super highly strung at that point. And then this just, again, as Dane said, was like a cascade. So you just got to reach out after the fact, leave room. And again, also on the flip side, if something has happened in her past that she doesn't want to talk about, she doesn't have to, right? So if she's telling you it's a bug, either way, you have to let it go, I think. I think your job, sorry, just very quickly, your job is just to be open and be kind and make that space safe for her if she does want to reach out.
That was what I was going to add on. It was like, do the extra step and try to talk. And as Nell said, like there's bedroom time and then there's outside of bedroom time. And this is one of those situations where I think you're going to get a lot more ground covered outside of the moment after everything has passed. But outside, as Nell said, it's like if she's not ready to talk about it, you're not a therapist. You're not a mental health professional. Presumably, you're 19, I think. So chances are you're not a doctor. But what you do need to do is make sure that she knows that she's safe with you and to mean what you say when you say it, right? Mm-hmm. Like to actually be a safe space, both in your relationship and sexually. So you need to, even if it's just something as simple as like, she's like, well, something did happen. I don't really want to talk about it. Or you notice that she's being hesitant about bringing things up. Maybe ask her to be like, hey, going forward, I would like a list of things that I should avoid or things that like, or whenever you do feel unsafe, or if something, just let her know and be like, look, I will never be upset about this. So at any point in time, if you ever feel unsafe or ever feel scared or ever whatever, just please tell me and we will stop. And I won't be mad at you and we don't have to talk about it, but I don't want you to feel like you have to push through things to satisfy me because you're worried that I will, lose interest or whatever. I want you to know that like, if you get scared again, it's okay. Please let me know. And please know that there is a ripcord to pull at any point in time. Granted, and like, look, am I saying that that's a sustainable thing forever? No, because at some point in time, if you guys do want to have a sexual relationship, and there is something happening, she will have to go work through this one way or another. You're right.
If
like
this is a like consistent thing that like every time you try to do something like this happens or whatever, that's not the kind of thing you just ignore. And it's also not the kind of thing you could probably deal with because, as Dane said, you're too young to be a licensed mental health professional, I assume. So maybe this will be a thing that they have to seek professional help for, or maybe it was a blip or something. You don't know. You just need to make sure that you are a safe, comforting space. And then that's kind of the best situation. And if it can work from there, it will. And if it can't, then you try to be patient while they seek mental help. Or, if it's not working out long term, then maybe you guys break up. But I will say, just a little addition to what I was saying earlier, when you do reach out, make sure you hammer home the fact that you do not mind, you are not upset, it wasn't embarrassing, and that everything's cool. Because it sounds like it is. It sounds like you don't mind. You're just concerned about their well-being. So it'll help them feel better about the situation if you are just like, hey, just a heads up, like, I am not annoyed, I am not upset, it doesn't matter to me, it's totally fine, I'm just concerned about you and I want to make sure you're okay. Yeah, and there you go. This is by Majestic Middle 874. Girl wanted me to use opened condoms she brought and got mad when I insisted I want to use mine. So I, 20-year-old male, was hanging out with this girl, 19-year-old female, I've been talking to for a few weeks. Things got heated and we were about to have sex, but she pulled out a couple condoms that were already opened and said she brought them from home. I was like, I've got new ones in my drawer. I wasn't trying to accuse her of anything. Just felt weird using opened ones that weren't mine. Told her I'd feel more comfortable using fresh ones from my pack, but then she kind of snapped and said I was making it awkward and killing the vibe. Now she's not replying to my texts. I'm low-key confused. Like, was I wrong for insisting on using my own? I thought it was common sense to use new condoms, especially ones haven't been tampered with.
Hey, dude, run as far and as fast away from this as you possibly can. Of course, don't use open condoms. I would sometimes if you tore a pack and one would rip a little, even that sometimes for me was I don't know about this one, even though I was almost 90% sure that there wasn't any exposed. It was just, but I was always overly cautious with my, if I ever felt that maybe my apartment got too hot, or if I left my drawer open in the sun, anything, if I had a couple of my leather coat that I had left over the seasons, I would always take the precaution to be if I'm not 100% sure about the integrity of this condom, it's not being used, because 100%. I'd much rather pay the $20 for another pack of condoms than for a plan B or a child.
Have a baby,
or a disease.
Also, there's things where that is a maybe. This is a definitely. If they've been open for any extended amount of time, they are not good anymore. I'm pretty sure they will dry out. The rubber will be bad. It's just not good. So it is not it might be whatever. It's fully just been compromised.
And also, what is she carrying it in? The second there's any sort of particulate, dirt, dust, fluff, anything like that, the second that's added into the mix, that is a thing that's a great way to get an infection for her. That's a great way to cause any sort of even just have you ever had sex on a beach? Have you ever had sand in your vagina? The smallest little particulate can do a ton of damage. The insides and genitals are very, very sensitive. So just the idea for her point of view of being yes, please use this potentially incredibly dirty condom. And again, not dirty in the sense of it's been used before, but dirty in the sense that it has been exposed to the elements, and God only knows what's on that. That's gross.
It's insane. My what I want to know is why and when, right? Is this the fourth guy she's pulled this same open condom out? Because she took him home, presumably. She's going to be hey, next person, I still got them. I don't want to waste them.
I can't even begin to guess what the play is here. Is it to just see if you can find a guy who will do whatever you say? And if you find a guy who will use these, then he's going to be very easy to manipulate otherwise?
Maybe.
Is that the play? Because that's the only thing I can think of. Or you are that insane that you've tampered with these condoms and...
Yeah, that's the worst case scenario. But at the same time, it's if you're going to do something this wildly unsafe, we all know that this is not okay, but then you're going to freak out when someone brings it up. I don't know, man. I'm erring on the side of maybe you're doing something nefarious.
And I want to touch on this subject as well. I don't think that you should ever use having a discussion about safe sex or even just your safety in a sexual situation as bringing down the vibe or ruining the, that's such a toxic, manipulative statement of
you
someone
be
being
safe
because imagine,
and comfortable. I'm not horny now. Okay.
Yeah, that's what men have used for fucking years to avoid using a condom during sex.
And it was shitty then. It's shitty now.
It sucks. Don't do it. So like if someone starts talking about like precautions in the heat of the moment, that shouldn't be, if you get turned off by someone being like, hey, I would like to use a condom, or I have a latex allergy, so I would like to use my condom so that I don't feel terrible during this interaction. If you're like, ew, I hate that. Don't talk about sexual safety and health around me when we're about to have sex.
You're not ready to have sex if that's the case.
So are you saying that just no one should have sex now?
Yes, I am. No, get back home. Go home and go on the internet and listen to this podcast until you're ready to have sex again, because you're not.
It's so bad. It's so bad. If you think that you can use condoms that are not perfectly sealed and that haven't been expired, you're crazy. And also, I have, if someone wanted to like a specific condom to be used, I have no problem with that. Mm-hmm. Also, I think specifically it should be the person wearing the, like, I know there's like a little bit of fluff here. I think you could see it either way. But if someone was adamant that I used a specific condom, I think that would weird me out. If someone was like, no, it's got to be this one, I'd be like,
yeah, it would be different if it was weird. Like, oh, I have a latex allergy. Here are latex-free condoms. Sure. But to be like, no, this specific one, not the one on the left, not the one on the right, the one with the hole in it. I mean, the one in the middle.
We have two identical brands, identical latex-free, allergen-free condoms, but this is the one you have to use. Yeah. I would be a little sus of that. That would make me a little nervous.
And again, like, if people do this, don't fuck them. It's not worth it. I know we can all be horny. We can all make bad decisions. But like, if someone pulls this bullshit, or if they're going to try to guilt you or like manipulate you into doing things that you don't want to do not have sex with them. Tell them to get the fuck out. For your safety, for theirs, for everybody's. It's bad.
This is from Specific Conscious. Why does she ask if I'm all right? Started seeing this girl recently. We've done hand stuff a couple times. And right after I finish, she asks if I'm all right. I mean, yeah, I'm all right. I just finished. Is there some reason you think I'm not all right? It's kind of off-putting. I don't act weird or anything when I'm finishing, other than the obvious thing dudes do when they're finishing. LOL.
Bawling, crying, yelling.
So why does she
down
keep
on my knees in the rain, roaring for Jesus?
So here's my thing with this question. I need to know, when you say other than the obvious things, I need to know what you're doing. Because are you, like, this woman in the past question probably thinks that using open condoms is a normal thing.
Yeah,
it's the obvious thing. I'm you practicing safe sex. It's obviously how you do it.
They say make sure you have your condoms ready, and I did.
Yeah,
they're as ready as they could be. She's also unrolled it for you.
So I'm gonna like keep searching to see if he has any indication of like him doing anything like weird, but so far I don't see him saying anything of like, you know.
So like, what age are they again?
They are, it doesn't say.
Okay. So the thing is, for me, it could be one, you could just say, hey, why do you always ask if I'm all right when we're done? I'm very clearly all right. I just bust my nut. Or like, if we want to brainstorm what could be going on, I think like, maybe she wants to just know, did you enjoy it? Which, yes, you might say, well, I did come. But like, I think sometimes people can be like self-conscious in their own head. Maybe they just want you to say that was fucking awesome. And it's always nice to tell people things are awesome. So I would do that. Next time she says, you all right? Be like, yeah, that was awesome. Maybe next time it won't be the same thing. But I do think there's nothing wrong with just being like, hey, you always ask for all right. I just want to double check.
And look, maybe you got a weird O-face, dude. Maybe you make a weird noise. Maybe you clench up real tight. Like maybe you do something that if you guys are younger, she hasn't come across yet. And I think it's like, you know, as you expand your sexual horizons and your repertoire, you get kind of used to, there's things that like the first time I came across, I was like, are you all right? And it's like, yeah, no, I'm okay. I know it looks like I'm about to like blow up, but I just don't make any noise when I'm coming.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, great. Cool. Now that I know that, I know you're not somehow choking on your own tongue or something.
I didn't get possessed. I promise.
Now I know we don't usually go into the comment section, but this one really boggled me. Someone said, what did she say when you ask her this question? And his response was, she told me it's super weird and awkward question to ask. Or at least that's what I imagine her saying, which is why I haven't asked her.
Okay, well, buddy, I'm beginning to think maybe what you think is normal isn't normal.
That's kind of my point. I think that perhaps you need to take... Conversations are a give and take of cues, social cues, right? So if someone says, hey, are you all
social
right?
Cues. TikTok's going to fucking blow up, man.
If someone asks you, hey, are you all right?
That's small talk, and you kick them in the face until they leave.
Yeah, you may be exhibiting signs that you aren't all right. So maybe you're breathing very heavily.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're really out of breath. Maybe you're making weird faces, weird noises.
Your face.
Maybe you're all sort of bunched up. Like maybe you go like super rigid and you think that like because you haven't seen a whole lot of dudes come, presumably, that you think this is normal because it's what you do, right? We all think that the thing that we do is normal until you mention it and someone's like, yeah, I don't do that.
Yeah. So do you think this guy is on the spectrum of quiet or really loud? Like, do you think he's like weirdly silent and like tensy, or do you think he's like Wilhelm scream kind of?
That's an interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm going to wager that he's probably on the quiet side and the like trying to be masculine about it and not moan or not whimper or not like make any sounds of enjoyment. So it is like a right? Like it's like one of those like trying to internalize everything and make it manly as opposed to just letting release happen however it happens.
Well, if it comes out red.
You mean his cum?
Yeah. She's like, are you all right? He's like, yeah,
hey,
just normal stuff.
My dude, if your cum is red, yeah, that's
if
not
your cum is red, go to a hospital bed. That's what we always say.
That's what we say. That's what our merch says.
But just talk to them. And again, like if you can't talk to the person you're hooking up with, maybe you're not ready to have sex.
That I think is the final sort of lesson here is if someone is asking you a question, they're checking in with you. There's a reason they're asking you this. So whatever it may be, maybe you have a weirdo face, maybe you don't make any noise, whatever.
Maybe maybe she's just wants you to say that was fucking good, which again, maybe you don't think needs to be said because you just did a cum.
That's right. Like I think a lot of people miss that step of being like, well, of course it was good. I just came. But people need more than that.
Also, not every cum is the same. You can have like real good orgasms. And you can just have like hey, we got there.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, there are definitely scales of orgasms of like from that was a serviceable
she just about pushed the boulder over the line before and then there's they fucking jet dashed all the way to the finish line and it was spectacular.
You grabbed me like Bowser at the end of Mario 64 and spun my ass around and threw me into the lava.
Hell yeah. Damn.
That's my 10. If I had to describe my coming, you are jet dashed. I'm getting thrown around like Bowser at the end of Mario 64.
I feel bad because I didn't really get to delve into mine, but it's fine.
Into your jet dash? You want to talk more about your
Sonic
jet
with
dash?
The Chaos Emeralds, probably.
Okay. Are you Sonic or is she Sonic? Does she go
Sonic,
golden?
Bro. We're both Sonic, man. The dream. Talk to her. What the fuck are you doing? Talk to her. Don't imagine this conversation. That's also such a disservice to your partner.
That's the craziest thing.
Yeah.
I think out of everything, you putting words into her mouth and then refusing to talk to her because of a made up thing what are you doing?
Yeah.
That is as Nelson, complete disservice and so unfair to your partner.
And
because
are you unhealthy.
If you keep dating her and say she does something that you don't agree with, instead of having a conversation with her, or which may lead to a fight or whatever, are you just going to have it in your head and then get pissed off at her and she has no idea what the fuck is happening because the made up her said something you didn't like?
Yeah. Right?
What do you mean?
What if you need to bring up a safety concern, either for you or for her? Like, if you have to talk about safe words, if you talk about whatever, like, how are you going to have those conversations if you can't have this conversation? Also, how is you asking, hey, why do you always ask if I'm all right? Weirder than her asking if you're all right. You're fine, bro. And again, if they are like that and they do think it's really weird of you to ask, that's probably something you want to know because you don't want to hook up with this person if simple conversation is off the table.
We're back to the last question where it's like, if you ask this question and she freaks out, then like you've dodged a bullet because you don't want to date someone who refuses to have the most basic conversations about sexual health.
Mm-hmm. This by Throare Sorbet, 1941. My 32-year-old female fiance, 37-year-old male, is a homicide detective. I'm starting to feel like he treats me more like a suspect than a partner. We've been together for almost 4 years. He's a homicide detective. My friends immediately started side-eyeing me. They said, don't date a cop. It's not worth it. They're all abusive, etc. None of them have actually dated a cop, so I found their opinions more annoying than anything else. I just felt like they were basing their judgment off a stereotype. My mom said similar things, but she dated a cop who was former military with PTSD 49 years ago and based everything off that. Lately, though, some things have started to bother me. I don't know if it's just these incidents seem to be more frequent or if I was willfully blind to it before and I'm just bothered now. He records our arguments. I've known about that for a while. He told me it was to make sure we remember things correctly and communicate better. And I believed him at first. Didn't like it and thought it was petty and stupid. And I asked if he saved the recordings, and he said he deletes them once the argument's resolved. But I've since found a folder on his computer labeled with dates and times and the recording of arguments or other conversation we've had going back over a year. He notices tiny changes in my behavior and asks questions in a way that feels more like an interrogation than concern. I've also discovered he does background checks on my friends and coworkers. Sometimes his phone buzzes and he steps out for hours without explanation. But he just says he's handling work stuff and makes cryptic comments like, I only trust what I can verify, or I like to know everything that might matter when it comes to things between us. Not strictly talking about work, then he laughs it off, but the words stick. It's hard to tell when he's joking and when he's serious. I love him, but it feels like he's treating me like a suspect. He doesn't seem to trust anyone, including me. Even disagreements, every little disagreement feels like it's evidence. Recently, he made some comments related to having kids, about having a tracker on them at all times and never letting them spend the night with friends. This came after I told him people at work were saying their kids don't have sleepovers like we used to have. He said he'll never let his kids spend the night at someone else's house, and he'll do background checks on every parent of our kids' friends and teachers. I feel like these comments are becoming more frequent and escalating. How do I handle this? How do I discuss this in a way that won't turn into a dumb argument that he inevitably records? I honestly don't know how to bring it up. I've considered telling him he needs therapy because we cannot continue to live life so suspicious and paranoid about everything and everyone, but I'm sure he'll refuse that.
Okay, there's a lot here. First, it's not anecdotal evidence to coincide domestic abuse with law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
There are statistics out there. They are not in the favor of law enforcement. It is a pretty well-known stat that there is a high degree of domestic abuse when it comes to law enforcement workers and their partners. Typically, men abusing women. Mm-hmm. So don't just poo-poo your friends who are saying these things because you think that because they've never dated it, or because your mom dated someone 40 years ago, that it's not accurate information. You can look up these statistics. They are readily available. It's there. So there is an elephant in the room in this question, unfortunately. Whether or not it pertains to this question or not, maybe, but in this case, it's there and it's looking at you dead in the eyes. You are, I think, like you're touching on dangerous territory, because I think the second you accuse this person of these things, you are in danger, which is, I think, fundamentally a bad place to be in a relationship where,
yes.
If you are scared to bring up conversations, thankfully it doesn't seem like you are scared. You're just worried that he won't give a shit, right? It doesn't seem like she's worried that, like, if I say this, he's going to kill me or anything like that. Like, there doesn't seem to be imminent threat of physical danger, but you do seem very unhappy with this scenario.
It sounds at best completely and utterly depressing and exhausting. At best. At worst, it is full-on abuse, right?
There was something else you said in there that that like really pinged for me, and I don't remember what it was now.
I don't know. He does background checks on all their like friends and coworkers. That's pretty weird. I think it's abuse of power. I would love to know, have you ever won an argument, right? I'm putting that in quotations because, you know, like, does he just record these so that he can be like, ha, you said this? Is there ever a moment where he's like, oh, you're right, I said this? Or like, I looked back and I was annoyed? Because like, it doesn't really make it better. I don't think you should be recording your fucking arguments. I think it's fucking weird, but it's a different beast, I think, if it's like a equal opportunities recording as opposed to a fuck you, haha, here's my proof. And then if you're ever like, oh, there's this thing, and he's like, I don't know, where's that recording? Lol. I also would love to know, like, imagine you guys start fighting. He's like, hold on, runs off, gets his recorder, comes back, continue. Like,
I don't think he's like recording it. I think he's making a record of it.
No, he's recording it, like audio recording.
Oh, I thought he meant like she found like a record, as in like he's keeping track of them and not.
Well, it said saved the recordings. So it seems to me that it is an audio recording. Yeah. And again, it's like, if he's like, is he a stenographer and he's just there like, you know, he has it like written down at work, like at best, and recorded, which it seems to be.
Yeah. I mean, that's terrible. Are you aware of this? Like, does he do it in front of you? Is it secretive?
Well, it must be. They've talked about it, right? Where he was like, hey, he explained why he did it. And she said, do you delete them? And he said, yes, but then also lied about that. So like, I think there's enough things here to bring up, be like, hey, you lied about this, right? And also to be like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I mean, most people don't do this. we should be able to figure out our arguments ourselves. And it's like the only way to record it is if you don't trust yourself or you don't trust me.
Yeah. I will give, here's my leeway to this dude. Being a homicide detective is probably fucked up, right? You probably see some pretty horrible shit and deal with some of like the most depraved people and see people at their worst, right? Like having to tell someone that they lost a loved one because they have been murdered is probably very difficult.
Also, probably coming upon the scene of said issue and there's probably some fucked up shit, which is clearly manifesting itself in this.
So I understand, like, I agree with you. It's an abuse of power. I think it's an overstep and all that, but I do understand the instinctual need to protect when the bulk of your life is seeing the absolute cruelty and evil that we can commit upon one another. I understand. Do I agree with it? Do I think it's right? No. Do I understand? Is there sort of a like, I understand why your brain wants to not.
I can understand that the trauma is coming in this way, but at the same time, it's like you recording your arguments with your wife isn't protecting anybody.
That's crazy. Yeah,
you know?
I mean more like the unhealthy background checks and the like. Sure. I don't want my kid staying over at someone else's house because I'm sure he's had a case where a child was smothered to death by one of the parents. Like I'm sure there's that shit.
But again, that is cause for therapy because which situation, like, you know, can't leave the house, can't stay in the house, can't have parents. Can't be born.
Not excusing, but
no,
certainly
I see where you're coming from. It's like, I think we both know that the trauma of the job is definitely intruding on this life. Yeah. But I think that warrants a loving conversation. You know what I mean? Hey, I know you deal with some fucked up shit, but like, we can't live like this.
If you feel safe enough and you feel like, and again, it does seem that way. At no point in time does she seem to say that like he's physically abusive, and she seems to sort of push back on that. So hopefully this is one of the good ones and she is not in any physical danger. So I do think that, like, as you said, like a loving conversation in which you say like, hey, like I understand that what you go through is very tough and you may have the walls and like the machismo up to not reveal that or ever admit it. Like you may never actually say out loud how fucked up this is and how hard it is to do because you can't admit it. And if you do, you fucking crumble. But I don't want to live my life like a case by case, you know, I don't want that. And that's not fun for me. And that doesn't seem good for you either. So if you can't leave work at work, then I don't know if this is going to be a very successful relationship. And the other thing of like her being like, he takes phone calls. It's like, he's a cop and he's a homicide detective. That's the least suspicious thing I think he does. It's like,
sure, but I think you could be like, hey, you do this thing, you just walk off without telling me. You can let me know.
Yeah,
because she says there's no explanation. He just like gets a call and is gone, right? So you could be like, oh, it's work. He doesn't have to be like, well, the smotherer's back.
Yeah, again, like it could. I would understand that, like as a cop, like if you get called and you disappear, like again, I guess it does depend. If he's like literally middle of conversation, saying, oh, blah blah blah, and his phone ringing, he's just like full like 180s and just walks away. Yes, that's very rude. Don't do that. Like just at very minimum, be like, it's work. I got to take this.
Yeah, yeah.
If he's not doing that, then yes, that's very rude. But if he is doing that, and you're like, but what is he doing on the phone for? It's like he's dealing with like. I'm sure there's a bunch of shit that's terrible and like he steps outside so you don't have to hear him being like talking about the depravity of humankind. And also probably legally, you probably can't hear some of the stuff.
Or he's cheating on you. Who knows? But I'm saying you just got to have this conversation. You can't live like this. So try to talk and see how it goes. If there's instant pushback and like just a full on no, like, because the thing is, I feel like this will be the telling part of your relationship. Does this go well? Do you move forward, or do things get worse? Because if things get worse, I think that's a very good sign that things are never going to get better and things will continue to escalate until you are maybe one of those statistics we mentioned earlier, right?
And just a flag in the ground of being like, no, this is who I am, and I'm right and you're wrong, and I'm never going to change. If that's just as bad of a stance as it getting worse, because you've proven that it's not going to get better.
Yeah. So I would be careful, but I would be loving and just see how they react. But you got to bring it up. You can't live like that.
Yeah. And at like the very least, it's like if you can't live like that, then you do need to get out. Like persisting in a relationship that doesn't serve you is pointless, and it just, all you're doing is increasing the odds that this is going to go poorly for you in a much more serious way.
Yeah.
Just statistically.
Yeah. Well, I think that's going to do it for us today.
That's it.
We love you.
We do.
Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
If you want to support the show, please find us on whichever podcatcher that you use. Give us a good rating, give us a review, give us a comment, whatever you can do. If you want to find us on social media, don't yell at me. Just leave me a nice comment. There's enough idiots out there yelling at me. It would be nice. It would be cool to get more followers, get more shares, have some rad people in the comments backing us up. We can make positive change in this world, and you could be a part of it. Or find us on Patreon. Send us a little bit of money. Get a little extra episodes in your life. We'll keep doing what we do, and it'll be great. And we appreciate the heck out of you. Thank you, Josh Eagle and the Harvest Cities, for their song Paper Stars.
That was me thanking Josh Eagle silently on a podcast.
Are you ready for... It's not bad sex writing, really. I'm not sure what it is, but it felt right. It felt right. So there's a picture of Taylor Swift when she was Times 2023 Person of the Year. And she's just kind of like gazing off into the distance. And somebody retweeted it and said, I think in a past life, she was a farmer and I was her cow. I believe she hit me, milked me, and stole my calves from me. There's something that breaks in my heart every time I see her name or face.
I imagine this is probably how Mr. Beast feels about everyone. I feel like Mr. Beast feels like he was one of those stolen calves, and him now has the opportunity to rain hellfire upon us with his billions and billions of dollars. He looks at us the way that this psychopath looks at Taylor Swift.
Yeah, damn. Imagine seeing that. Imagine being Taylor Swift and seeing that and being like, oh, for fuck, like, cool. Great.
Yeah,
another thing.
Right? Like, there's so much shit about Taylor Swift. There's so many people being so mean to her for no fucking reason, and just coming across and being like, I didn't even do that. What do you mean?
What the fuck? Now that we're getting yelled at for talking about small talk, I get it, Taylor. We're the same.
We're the same, Taylor. And let me tell you, my heart breaks that you're getting married. I thought I had a chance. My name is Dave Miller.
Is she not already married?
I think they're just engaged.
Who fucking cares? Bye, Niall.